Now we'll be talking about trend line, how to use the trend line. Now there are a whole lot of people that uses the trend line in best way known to them, but the trend line is very easy. It's just like the moving average. It tells us the direction of the market. All right, now this is a tool we use. So I'm going to be showing you how to use the trend line and how to actually use it the best way. All right, the trend line trading is a strategy that most of the people use in the forex market, and it has a high accuracy. All right, high accuracy. So in this video I'll be showing you how to use the trend line and also how to use it perfectly. Let's head over to my screen. Now we are on my screen. All right, trend lines are very easy to trade. Now, to use the trend line strategy to get perfect entries or good entries, I want you to always look for 2 points to be able to draw your trend line. Look for 2 points in the market, 2 points. Now, this is point one. Follow my mouse. This is point one, and this is point two. Right now, when you see this is our candlestick, when you see a pattern like this, the price starts from here. This is the starting point, comes down here, move up, then comes down here again, and is moving upwards. Now, it has shown us that the market is on an upward trend. As you can see here, is on an upward trend. So what we want to do now is take our trend line and draw it. So let me remove this trend line right now, guys. I'm using the trading view platform. Is a free platform where you can use to analyze. I always love to teach on mobile device because I know many of us use mobile device, but still on we can still get patterns like this on our device. So it's still the same thing on your MetaTrader 4, MetaTrader 5. I will still show you how it is. All right, but just for this tutorial so that we can understand what I'm teaching. Now, when you notice a pattern like this in the market, the price comes down, goes up, comes down. Now, this point is our first point. If it goes up and comes down again, this is our second point. Now we want to draw our trend line. So what we do is, this is what we would do. We would look for our trend line. Let's look for it. Although I already have it down here, as you can see, this is my trend line. On trading view, you can star the common objects you use, and they will be just down here for you instead of you going to look for them. But this is the trend line, as you can see. Let me open it and you see it. This is our trend line. As you can see, it's already started. Now let's tap our trend line. We want to use our trend line. Then you tap it from here, from the first point to the second point. All right. Then you just drag it forward. All right. So let's start from the first point. This is our first point. This is our second point. All right. Then you drag it forward. Now, what you want to do is wait for price to come down. You wait for price to come back down here. All right. If price doesn't come down here, then that means it is not a confirmed entry. So you have to wait for price to come down. Most of the time, price will always come down. So let's say price now comes down from here and touches this your trend line. What you want to do right now is enter a buy. There's every tendency that it's after touching your trend line, it will continue to go upwards. So let's say, for instance, we'll put our buy here. Then we drag it up here. This is where we are looking at price getting to. All right. So this will be our stop loss. We are using a 10 pips stop loss. I told you to always use a 1 to 2 risks to reward. Let's use a 10 pips stop loss. This is where I'm seeing the pips. As you can see, 10 pips stop loss. Then let's see how many take profit we need to use. A 20 pips take profit is 1 to 2 risks to reward. We can use 1 to 3. So let's just look for a 30 pips take profit, because most of the time price will always want to break where it came down from, which is this part. most likely price will always want to break it if it continues with this trend. So let's say this is where we are looking at 1 to 2 risk to reward, and we enter this trade with like a one lot size. Once we enter this trade with a one lot size, that means we are looking at losing $100 and looking at making $300. Now, not all strategy are 100%. There are times whereby when price comes down here, instead of it to continue to go upward, what price will do is come down here and break the trend and continue coming down. All right. So that's why I tell you, if your strategy works 7 over 10, 6 over 10, is good. Now we are using a 1 to 3 risk to reward. So let's say this happens 10 times and we have made, every time it happened, we made $300 profit. And the 3 times that it didn't work, we made um we made, that's 3 times 100, $300 loss. All right. And the 7th time it gave us profit, we made $300 times 7. So you can see we are still coming out in profit. Now, the same way you do it for the uptrend, that's the same way you look for it on a downtrend. Just like that. Make sure before you draw your trend line, the price has given us 2 points. 2 points. All right. From this is our point one and point two. Now you look for, carry your trend line and you draw. Now, this pattern of trading, all professionals use this pattern of trading. All right. So what you want to do now is wait for price to come back towards your trend line. All right. You want price to touch here and come back towards your trend line. Once price comes back towards your trend line, you should look at placing a sell, because there's 70% or 60% chances that it will touch your trend line and reverse. So what you want to do now is put your sell and take a sell from here. All right. A 10 pips stop loss and a 1 to 3. Let's use a 30 pips take profit. Let's move this thing here out here so that we can see what we are doing. All right. Okay. So a 30 pips take profit. This is 30. Okay, let's use 35, because most times price, like I said, we want to cover up this is last I'll call it, is this lower high or lower low? I think it's lower low. So if you want to cover up this place, then let's just look for a 35 pips. All right. So that is that for trend lines. So let's go to our chart itself and see if things like this do happen, and let's look for opportunities. Okay, so now we are on a live chart. Now this is New Zealand dollar, US dollar, NZD, USD. Now, as we can see, this is actually giving us what we just talked about here right now. So let's use this, our pattern, our arrow, as example. This is our let's say the inception point, or where it started from. So this is our point A, this is our point B, then this is our point C. So right now we should be looking at taking a buy here for the price to continue going upwards. As you can see, point A here, point B here, point C here. Now let's look for another currency pair. AUD USD. Yes, I think it's also, yeah, this is, it's working perfectly. Now look at, let's start from here. This is the inception point. You start from here, point A, point B, point C. It's even already on point C. Okay, let me see. Let me drag this down here so that we can see it very clearly. Let me make it a little bit smaller. All right. So this is point A, this is point B, and this is point C. So right now, point C, this is what we are expecting. So we'd have to enter the trade. If this is the only pattern you are using to trade, just trust it and make sure you are using the right risk to reward, the right take profit, and the right stop loss, and the right lot size. All right. So let's use a 15 pips stop loss. Then we are looking at making let's say we are looking at making 15, 15, 30, 45 pips, 1 to 3 risk to reward. But basically, price will always want to take this out. See, this was the last place it came down. This is the higher high. All right. Price will want to take it out. So we can look at putting our take profit here. All right. So we are looking at making, wow, this is 257 pips. So we can have TP1. Maybe we'll make this place our TP1, take profit one, make this place our take profit two. We'll just be going higher because this 275 pips might take days. All right. So 275 pips, 15 pips stop loss is okay, but we can just make it, let's just say 30 pips. Because if you're looking at making that high, that much, let's give our stop loss room to breathe. All right. So that is that. As you can see, this is what we call trend line. Using the trend line. You understand? This is the best explanation. This is the best explanation from one of the best traders. All right. So, like I said earlier, it may not always work 100%. No strategy, nobody will assure you 100%. But if you do this and 5 out of 5 comes out, you still make good profit if you're using 1 to 2 or 1 to 3 risks to reward, or 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10. But I can assure you that 6 out of 10 times trend lines and using this pattern that I'm teaching right now, it works perfectly. It works perfectly. All right, guys. Thank you very much.